Hello, everyone. Bringing you some more gameplay and commentary for Disney's Lorcana, the trading card game. We are trying out a new software, OBS. So hopefully, uh, things are a little bit different, but things will go well. The previous video capture kind of tool I was using, there was a noticeable lag between the webcam and the audio. Uh, the audio synced up with like the gameplay pretty well, but the webcam you can definitely see some delays. So hopefully OBS is a little bit better in terms of reducing that delay. And hopefully the mic quality is going to be okay. Earlier when I was testing, there was a lot of echo in the mic, so hopefully I was able to reduce that and get rid of it. So today we are going to be bringing to you some deck tech and gameplay for a Ruby Emerald Evasive deck. Kind of was a little bit inspired by this deck during a recent draft I was testing for Lorcana, and then I was also inspired because I got beat by this deck a couple of times earlier today. So let's turn the tables around and try running this deck a little bit. So my take on it is I just added every single evasive card between Ruby and Emerald. Then I added in some supports and that sort of stuff. It is a bit heavy. I think I might want to try to include some one drops. Though the only one drop that exists is Sergeant Tibbs. So I may want to try to do that. Maybe get rid of uh something like Mickey. That's gonna be really high cost, but it does quest for 4 lore. Or Tigger, because Goofy and Pongo are better than Tigger in almost every way. Um, yeah, let's get rid of 4 Tiggers and just add 4 Surgeon Tubes. Okay, just so we have something in that one drop. So our deck pretty much consists of Goofy, Tigger. Sorry, we just took out Tigger. Goofy for evasive, Genie for evasive, and just an overall bomby card. A Peter Pan for evasive, and or is it Pongo for evasive? So all of those cards, hopefully you can just slam onto your table and keep on questing with them to victory. We also have just as a one drop Surgeon Tibbs in case opponent has something like a Baby Mal. And then we have Dragonfire for removal. And then Mulan for since hopefully most of our board stays on because they're evasive. Mulan can just be a constant threat of hey, my evasives can now quest for a ton more lore. Rapunzel to just stall the opponent a little bit, also a pretty nice body with the 5 attack stat. Aladdin, along with the Emerald Aladdin, just to shift, maybe take an opponent by surprise, because he's one of the only characters that can gain you lore on the turn you play it, which is great. And then Mickey Mouse, the iconic 4 lore evasive there. And then for Emerald, we have Cruella de Vil, which is once again board control. So stall your opponent, make them a little bit slower. Cheshire Cat, which is kind of annoying just for an opponent to deal with. He's probably the card that I'm the most borderline about including in this deck because with all of the other evasive cards, opponent has nothing better to do than to run into the cat. But then we have Beast for the attack and the 2 lore threat. So a lot of times you can just play this out with Rush, kill an opponent creature, and your opponent kind of has to deal with him before he starts questing for lore. Jumbo for big body, and that is it for kind of this Ruby Emerald Evasive deck. This is gonna be the first time I'm running through this, so we'll probably learn as much as you do and see how this deck plays out. I am not gonna cut anything. I'm gonna run 2 games and see if I can win. Hopefully at least one of the 2 games, just for some content. But if we don't, we learn something uh, by trying this deck, and maybe we can tweak it to be a little bit better. So without further ado, let's start. Hopefully the games won't take too long. Uh, this is also pretty exciting because now that I got OBS, it should make streaming stuff a little bit nicer and easier to do. So maybe that's one of the things I'll have to look into, just streaming some of my other games that I don't necessarily make a recording for, but that I happen to be playing. Okay. Okay. We are going second in this game. Let's see. We got a 1-drop, 2-drop, a genie. We will ink a Mickey. Probably will ink the Dragonfire. Could always draw into it. We want some more inkable cards in order to get to a Pongo. Okay. Beast is also uninkable, but it's we have some inkable cards, so that's good. Let's see what deck our opponent is playing. They are playing Emerald. Steel, okay. So probably a Tink with some genie stuff. Okay. Tink is fine. He surprisingly doesn't do all that well against evasive cards. Let's see what opponent discarded. There's Simba. Okay. Got a Dragonfire. We're going to we don't do we want to play out the Tibbs? Would prevent the Simba from questing. But how much of value is it in keeping him as an inkable card? I think it's good to run him out. We will ink a Cruella since we have 2 of them. And we will run out a Tibbs and pass the turn. So at the very least, this will trade with Simba. As in it'll kill the Simba, but something else opponent plays will probably kill it. Or they can just fire the cannons, which is fine. Better them to use fire the cannons on that than like a Peter Pan or something like that. And we will play out the Cruella next turn. Hopefully we get something inkable. We are only running 12 uninkable cards. Beast, Genie, and Dragonfire. Hang on. They got 2 Jumbas in their hand. And they don't quest. Of course. We get an inkable beast. So having said seeing this, we really need to conserve all of our cards, inkable cards. So we will ink a Cruella and pass the turn. At the very least, we can just ink all of our uninkable cards and play out. Ink all of our inkable cards and play out our uninkable cards. Man, unlucky with drawing all of the uninkable cards right now. Opponent did miss out on one lore last turn. I don't know if they timed out or if they were just worried about something, but okay, that's also an inkable card. And we will pass the turn again. If opponent's not set up to be super fast, we are still okay. Though, definitely at a disadvantage. No. Okay, that's a Hercules. It's not too concerning. Once again, questing for one lore is not super relevant. Okay, we don't want the Aladdin. Then we will play out Pongo and pass the turn. At least now we can start chipping away. Question for 2 each turn. Next turn, I think we want to play out the Mulan, though Beast to kill the Hercules, Pongo to kill the Simba is also very tempting. A saving grace once again is Genie. Can be such a great temple play. What? Why did they fire the cannons on their own Hercules? I think opponent is also trying things out. Yeah, that play didn't make too much sense. If that's the case, like I didn't really want to take advantage of opponent playing fire the cannons on their own Hercules, but at the same time, I can't tell if it's a clear misplay or they just want me to bait the Pongo into the Hercules. So having said that, I'm just gonna oblige. If I bait the Pongo into the Hercules, trade both off, play Beast and kill Prince Eric, they'd only have the Simba on board, which I guess is okay, right? Or I could play out the Beast, attack the Hercules, kill the Simba, and still have a Pongo on board, and Prince Eric has to trade into the Beast. So the question is it better to have a Beast on the board, or is it better to have a Pongo? I think it's better, honestly, to have the Pongo on the board. So we're gonna trade like this. So that way it forces opponent to use the Prince Eric to kill the beast, which is fine because I think the important thing here is that a Tinkerbell can't attack into a Pongo. So, right, like even if they shift out the Tinkerbell, all they can do is ping the beast to kill it. So I think it has to deal damage, right? I don't think it's a choice. So yeah. Otherwise, if it was a choice, I might not want to leave the beast exerted because Tinkerbell the giant tank can be played, not ping everyone, and kill my beast and take out the Pongo, because the when Tinkerbell challenges and defeats vanishes a character, it can ping something for 2, and that's not a effect that evasive stops. So we will Inca Mulan. We definitely want to return the Tinkerbell to their hand, establish some board presence, and quest with Pongo, and pass the turn. They Tink again. Doesn't really do much. I'm also tempted to just Dragonfire it. But I don't think we need to. Until opponent can deal with evasive characters, Tinkerbell, the giant Tink, really doesn't do much. Okay, well, we got one win. Not quite the showcase I was hoping, but yeah, let's see if we can get another game in. Sure. Yeah, I definitely think the giant Tink is good, especially against cards that don't have any protection. I still have yet to see too much interactions with Tinkerbell and Aurora's, because I think in general, Aurora's might not provide too much protection against Tink, because Tink can just run into an Aurora to kill it. But I guess and anyways, I'll finish my thought a little bit later. So we want to kind of ink the Dragonfire and the Beast and a Mulan, or 2, and we'll keep the rest, the lower cost cards, and we always want to keep Rapunzel. So that makes 16 uninkable cards. Okay, so I was mistaken. So we do have 16 uninkable cards. I might want to end up replacing Rapunzel with something else just to give us a little bit more inkable cards. Having said that, we will ink a Tibbs and pass the turn. Going first, we don't really need the 1-drop. We always have Cruella de Vil in case they play out a Baby Mal or something like that. Steal. Alright, we will ink a Mickey Mouse, way too high of a cost for now. Next turn we can ink a Jumba. The question is, do we play out the Cruella? Don't think we do, because the Captain Hook just can run itself into the Cruella pretty easily. So I think at this point we're just going to try to ink everything and play out the Pongos. Okay, they ink a giant fair Tinkerbell. Found Eric. And quest with Captain Hook. Once again, our deck kind of just goes right past their deck. So we will ink a Cruella. It makes Cruella even worse because most of their characters can kill it. So I think the play is turn 4 Pongo, turn 5 Pongo, turn 6 Genie, turn 7 Mulan, or turn 4 Pongo, turn 5 Mulan, turn 6 Genie, and then play out the rest of the Pongos, depending on how quickly we need the lures. So. Does the opponent have Hercules again? Nope. Tertiary cap. That's good. Especially against our deck, since we can We can't even run a Pongo into that. Yeah, Cheshire Cat is much more of a threat than all the things that they played before. Having said that, I don't think we'll ever want to play a Jumba this game. So we will play out the Pongo and pass the turn. I think the play is to play out another Pongo, play out a Genie to return the Cheshire Cat, and then play out a Mulan. So that way we have 3 other characters when we play out the Mulan to make it even more of a relevant threat. Okay, quest with the cat. And that's it. Okay, well, we will ink our Cheshire, play out another Pongo, and quest with Pongo, and pass the turn. So I think in steel, smashes are going to be uh, you're gonna start to see a lot of smashes. That steel is gonna include just to deal with the Pongos. Fire the cannons isn't quite enough in there. So, and not too many people have been running smashes um right now, probably because Pongo hasn't been spoiled until now. So yeah, like opponent having to play out like 2 fire the cannons to take out a Pongo is amazing. Another Pongo. No, but that would be just being too greedy. So we will Inca Mulan, play out a Genie, return your Cheshire Cat, and then quest for 4, and then pass the turn. So if opponent plays a Genie and bounces back our Genie, we still beat them. So a lot of this meta game, if both players are playing green, is just do you have enough of board state so that you're winning that Genie bounce battle? Because a Genie bounce battle is really important because you essentially spend like 3 or 4 ink turns bouncing each other's genie back because it costs so much. Okay, so they have a tink. So what they end up doing is they can shift onto the tink in order to kill one of our pongos. Good news is we have another pongo, and a shifted tink can't actually do any damage to our other evasive cards. So here's a good question. Do we run out the Mulan or do we run out a third Pongo? So let's assume that they're gonna shift onto Tink or just outright play a Tink. That's gonna leave us with 2 characters on board. But that those can quest for a lot, right? So that they can quest for 6. So right now we can go to um 12, and then if they play out Tink, and I Mulan kill something like the Cheshire, I can go to 18. Um, that might be enough to justify it. Whereas if I play out a Pongo, and they play out a Tink, I can quest for 6, and then I'll quest for 6 again, which gets me to 18 as well. I think Mulan is probably the better play here. Don't need Aladdin. We'll save the Pongo, and then we'll just quest with everything. And let's see if opponent has the Tink or something to get rid of. If they have another fighter cannons and a Tink, that would be clutch. Because then they can take out both Pongos. Okay. Just a simple Tink. That's fine. Not super worried. They're going to have a tough time dealing with our evasives once again. Okay, there's a cat. We will be more than happy to run the Mulan into it. Really should start questing with everything because at this point they can see from the gameplay that I'm not even interested in attacking any of your characters. The fact that Tink can also quest for 2 is just like icing on the cake. Surprised that Tink isn't a legendary. Yeah, that's about what I figured. I'm just gonna run the Mulan. Oh, nice. And we have a genie to return something back to their hand. So that's fine. We'll quest, and then we'll return Tink back to their hand. That'll slow them down. And then pass the turn. And unless they can deal with all 3 of our characters, it's GG. Yep. Good game. So we only played against this steel emerald deck. So hopefully in the future I'll upload some videos playing this deck against some other color combinations. But for now, that's pretty much it. Have a wonderful day.